Hey, what's up guys? Alright, so I decided to do the video for Q&A for this month today. I was going to leave that for tomorrow, but I'm already kind of getting into a video making mood after I make the last video just now. So I'm going to bang this out. So let's get right into it. Daniel Douglas asked, what are our alternatives if we don't want to go down the PBN route for getting links to our client sites? Alright. Cool question, pretty common question, I guess. But the answer is not so common, I would say. I keep contemplating on this answer myself, even recently, to be honest, more than I thought I ever would, right? I've been using like PBNs or trying to use PBNs since the beginning. Why I say trying is because in the beginning I went through all these like vendors, which I guess I got in pretty late, right? You see, like when I started getting clients properly was like in 2018, and by this time already the ones that are regarded as good in the industry, at least like in the mainstream communities, like links like Matt Diggity's and stuff like that, are already trash, right? So I'm not shitting on Matt Diggity. I'm sure his link service was really good at one point. I'm just saying that as an example because it's one of the most common links. Now, following that note, the real point of buying links is this. There's no such thing as a very famous vendor who's very good for PBNs. It does not exist because that's an oxymoron. If you have a network of links, let's say whatever, you have 1,000 sites that you want to sell links on, and you start selling them and people start buying, whether monthly or one-shot deals, whatever. As it gets more popular, is direct relation between more links and all the management and everything is direct relation why you'll get a shittier service. More chance of footprints and all that stuff. It's just many factors that starts to get worse as that service becomes more popular. And it's been my experience in that. So I just wanted to give that as a back end little little note. I know your question is to do with what other link providers should I use. The first one that comes into my mind is really guest posts, and I know a lot of times that's a bit hard to distinguish because there's really no direct difference. A PBN with traffic, a good PBN network with traffic, is very close to a guest post. I guess the biggest difference really is traffic when it comes to the word guest post and PBN. And if there's anything over that, it would be that, well, with guest posts, it's actually being managed. Like they're trying to keep a certain level of quality in those sites that people read, or maybe they're making money of those sites other than just selling links. Maybe they have some kind of whatever they're doing, some kind of more towards a real site, right? I would say first would be guest post, the first thing. I would still power them up with PBNs, so it's still going in the other direction. But after guest posts, really, I would say outreach, right? Outreach links. If you are doing an agency and you don't want to do PBNs, I would say build a system for outreach, right? In your industry, for the niche you're serving, try to have an email process going on with a VA, even if they're doing it part-time, whatever, to start building a list of sites that accept posts, and then those are the links you're going to be getting for your clients. And it's pretty good because most of them you should be able to use for the same clients over and over again without falling into any kind of stress of whatever, penalties, etc. And really that's like the only other thing that I would consider or know. I see myself probably getting into outreach actually later on this year, possibly. If I were to start an agency from scratch right now, I wouldn't go the PBN route myself, because it's just I learned it the hard way that within time you don't want to be against Google. And I'm not saying that because of that entire thing of So I mean, there's two types of people when I say that, right? One person is like, yeah, I agree. You actually learn. That's good advice you're giving. The other side is like people who really think they're on top of the game. Like, oh yeah, I'm in the biggest team. Like I'm in the best courses in the world. I'm in OMG, and I know every other thing that's happening in PBN. So he must not know what he's saying. So he's not on top of his shit. That's why he's saying you don't want to be against Google. But really, the reason why I'm saying you don't want to be against Google is because you have to run a business. When you scale your business, there's so many other things that have to go into it. I touched upon this before, but to say it very shortly, is you can't, after a certain point, you can't just be good in one thing. You can't just be good in SEO. I mean, that's even in the beginning. But let's say just SEO and sales will only get you so far. But those two will make money. If you're decent at SEO, and you're good at sales, decent to good at sales, you'll make money. You'll make 30, 40K. You'll get to where I am, right? Pretty much. If you're just pretty good with those two things. But scaling beyond this, beyond 50, 60, 70 grand, definitely beyond 100 grand, there's no way you're going to get with those two skills, like 100%. Because after a certain point, shitty systems are going to break. I mean, shitty systems really break even like starting at 25, 30 grand a month, right? But depends your definition of shitty. But the point I was trying to make is, as you grow a business, there's going to be other skills that you need, not just somewhat dabble in and you can just wing it and stuff, just make some systems, it breaks and you can fix it, correct something, not like that. I'm talking about like real system that processes, VAs can come in, go through training and do it with minimal like errors and stuff like that, and have people in place who can correct those errors and have all those processes in place. On top of that, soon after 60, 70, 80 grand, you're going to have to become good at hiring, actually good at hiring. Grow your skills as a person who can hire properly. Like, right now I'm reading a book. It's called Who. And it's all about hiring. The whole thing is about hiring and the questions to ask and all the things to look out for. And it's difficult. Shit's not easy, right? Like, I could sell right now and keep growing the agency and keep getting up there and having some trouble without having really good people in place. Or I could take it a bit slower, or as of right now, I'm like kind of chilling and just like learning is really difficult. I don't know if it's how it is for other people, but for me it's very difficult. To know that I can do certain things and make more money and grow and have fun, as opposed to kind of like chilling out and thinking of things and learning more, is difficult. And these skills are not easy. Let me stop rambling. The point I'm trying to make with all this is, once you start scaling your business and really growing it out, there's so many other factors you have to grow your skills in and be better at to be able to scale. It would be nice to not have to worry that Google can come and penalize you. It would be nice having to not worry that you're doing certain techniques with maps that your entire manager account get wiped out. It would be nice. That's all I'm saying. It's not about not knowing what the latest technique is with PBNs and stuff like that. It's just that you'd be at a better position of doing and spending your time and resources and energy in real things, right? Building a team, growing your skills at building better processes and really take your time. Things that don't break every time there's an update. Things that last a bit longer, let's say a year at least at a time for most of your systems. So stuff like that would be a lot easier when you are doing things the right way. So yeah, that's that. One question, 8 minutes. So I wonder if I'll ever get through. Let me speed things up a bit. All right, another question by you, man. Hey, bro, thanks for taking the time out of your day to make such a killer content. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I do affiliate niche SEO sites, and I am now looking to start up a small agency selling. It cut off. Let me open it up. My bad. Okay. Small agency selling local SEO to contractors in my city. I live in Perth, Western Australia. Okay, I was wondering if population of 2.5 million would be enough to go for an industry similar to roofing, plumbing, or do I need a larger population to be able to sell my services without overlap of cities and suburbs making services by the same companies I'm pitching to? Got it. Honestly, dude, I'm a little confused with the question, because I think there's two things that you're asking for. You said PS, and if you could also consider going wide inside the industry, such as removals over carriers over storage units, roofers over painters, plumbers over gas filters, air condition. Hope that wasn't too much loaded of a question. I'll answer them one at a time, because I think it was a loaded question. All right, so first of all, with the population thing, I think you're asking about two things, right? Maybe I'm not understanding. Number one, if you're asking if 2.5 million people in a city is enough population for your GMB to rank and generate calls just by itself like that, it definitely is. 2.5 million is humongous. I would say anything above 300,000 usually is good. Anything above 500,000, it actually starts getting into the pretty competitive spaces. Anything above a million, now you're talking about the biggest cities in the United States. So anything above, so if one city, I don't know which city has 2.5 million. Not really good at the geography, but if that's what you're asking, it's definitely enough. Now, if you're saying if that's enough to get you're a local agency, meaning like you're only gonna get clients locally around you. So I'm guessing you're also thinking about doing some kind of like door knocking or meeting face to face and stuff like that. I would say yeah, I think it's fine, because the thing is, especially nowadays, guys, like before, at least to me, seemingly, I didn't have a much good understanding of maps like earlier in 2018. I started kind of getting better at the later parts of 2018. But before, for example, if you're like New York, and if the term is like roofing New York, and you're ranking in the 3-pack, before, at least like before like 2017, I would say, as far as like how I understand it, if you're ranking in those top 3, it means that you're ranking in the top 3 from most places around New York. It was a bit more or less to do with proximity before. Now it's like hyper localized, right? Like it's like in a big city, like if this is the circumference and 2 roofers are north and south, yeah, from outside the city, if you're searching roofing city, one of them might come up. But really, there's so many terms that they are showing up for, like right around them. It's not really competing with each other as much. It's just not like that anymore. It's so hyper localized. So if a city as big as New York, let's say, right? One guy is like, I don't know, upper New York, or like, let's say like, I don't know, Houston. Northern Houston, Southern Houston, 2 roofing companies, and you just go for it, both. You could do SEO for both, and you're not really competing against yourself, really, to be honest, because of how hyper localized it is. It's so much to do with proximity. And I've like so much stuff to say about this, from like stuff I'm into with traffic manipulation and whatnot, but like well, we're just getting into that stuff. So the thing I will say about it is like for beginners, if you're just trying to wrap your head around it, look at search volume. Do like roofing city, roofing New York, right? And you see how many people say it's searching that. But look at your maps impressions. It's like almost 5 times more than what Keyword Planner is always saying, right? And just to give you an idea of how many other miscellaneous terms with near me terms, look at Insights and GMB Insights, right? There's so many other terms that show up in the 3-pack for a local business right now that unless you're like literally right down the street from each other, you're kind of not really competing with each other, okay? So that's the first thing I would say. And if you're doing different industries, like you want to do local contractors, which is pretty cool, honestly. I think that's a way to be successful. Because, let's say you're not niche down, but you're doing all local. So you're going to be known as the guy around the area, in that city, and a lot of your networks being built, whether you're using PBNs or not. Your last question about PBNs, so I can't say that, would be like, really themed for that city, right? You can build everything for that city. Your SMBs could be really built and dialed in for that city. So you could use those networks to power up your clients at a lot, with fraction of the work. So I think that's a pretty cool way to do it. But yeah, I would say you're not really competing with yourself that much. Now, if you were to go get like 10 roofers in one city, there is going to be some overlap. But, if you're doing like most home services industries and you're getting a couple from each and just, going about as you get clients, I think you should be fine. I think you're just fine. They can sign up, make it part of your program that they all are in a network just for being your clients, right? Link them all each other through their blogs and shit, power each other up. It'll be a whole fucking city full of your agency family going on, and I think it'll work out. So, all right. Okay, what are your alternatives if you want to go down? Oh, I just do that. Do you recommend Kalzu products? I haven't looked at that shit for over a year, man. I don't know. I looked at that like early 2018 when I was just learning maps and everything, and when I was learning a bit of what do you call it? Paper call. The good content just keeps coming. In regards to signing in, closing a deal, do you get a signature, DocuSign, or something like that? Is there something different you do? Honestly, man, I don't do much with contracts. It's just a simple agreement that says like, hey, this is what we talked about. This is what we're going to do. It's a very simple, like, bullet points, like on-page SEO. We're going to optimize your maps. Very simple stuff, just to give them an idea, like, we're doing something, what we're doing, like just a line item, and then the sign, it's month-to-month contract. Hey, bro, do you lose shiny object syndrome and stay focused? Well, tell me about it. My last video was about models in other businesses. So clearly, shiny object syndrome can come in at any, like, it's a pretty interesting thing, man, because it's like high ticket, right? Businesses are the world revolves around high ticket and like labeling. If you really think about it, it's like, once you scale, let's say like 30, 40K a month, okay, let's say you are more focused because you know how to be focused, right? You're not just dabbling all over the place and you can't even make a single call. You know you have to take action to at least make something happen. So you're off those parts, but you enter a different level of high, shiny object syndrome, because people who are doing other high ticket, like let's say, for example, Sam Ovens, he teaches people how to make courses. He can only target people who are already making some money for that, because you have to have a skill to do that. And generally speaking, that thing goes about, I think, like whatever, like 5-6 grand. Somebody beginner is not going to buy that, so they have to target people who are already having an agency. Now they're going to teach them how to switch over to the courses model. I'm giving an example in our space. Now going beyond this and really getting into the world now, right? To show you a glimpse of how high ticket things can go. Look at the most expensive items money can buy. Like, Louis Vuitton bags, Lamborghinis, fucking watches for 100 grand, $1 million, all this shit. These are not built for, like, the average household, right? They target a certain demographic of people and be able to brand it in a way where those elite level people wear that shit. And a good amount of the population buys into it, especially if they make their money through ways that are like, somewhat like, quick or done, whatever. Like, I don't want to judge them. It's just like whatever, right? And then they buy into that shit. That's a high ticket like that's a distraction built just for that demographic. So I'm talking about that because a lot of times we think that we're doing something that's like justified, like, oh yeah, no, this is fine. But it's just another form of either distraction or shiny object syndrome, right? Now, for the purpose of answering this question properly, I think you're talking about shiny object syndrome just in the business point, and I will say that it does not go away. I would say that it leaves you at certain blocks when you're really scaling and doing the right things. And then when you reach a certain milestone where new challenges come, you're more prone at that time to dabble around and have more shiny object syndrome whenever a newer form of bigger challenge shows itself. So for example, like I could honestly even pick on me right now, if you really think about it, because like, look, I scaled this agency to around 40K now, right? Now I'm at a point where I really have to grow, right? It's either time for me to really make the product actually very good. So, not just like put some, VAs to work and build some things on Trello. Like I'm talking about like really looking through and building systems that's going to provide results, really putting things in place, getting customer service properly, doing things that a real business has to do, right? This growth is now at stake. It's like challenging me. And at this point, it's a good time for me to dabble around and think what else I have to do, because I'm afraid of this growth. If I'm not wanting to face it head on, it's easy to have shiny object syndrome. So, I mean, I'll leave it at that. You know, take it for what it's worth. I'm just giving myself an example because that's sort of probably what's going on with me right now. I'm just not fighting it too much. You know, I'm okay. I'm doing certain things. I'm fixing certain stuff. I am actually working with one of the guys I recently hired who's going to be a big part of the company. So I'm kind of like taking things slow and chilling out, and at the same time dabbling a little bit else. But I'm not so naive to not be able to recognize shiny object syndrome. Maybe that's what you buy from the milestone of success. Once you get to 30, 40K, you can at least detect and be honest with yourself. Right? I don't bullshit myself like, oh yeah, this is the best thing to do right now is brainstorm what other business models I can get into. I know this is a form of shiny object, but it's fine, you know, I'm brainstorming out. Some things are happening. Industry is very volatile right now with all these things going on. It's a good time to kind of chill back and look at things, right? And I'm going with it. But yeah. That's how to answer that, right? It doesn't go away. It just comes in other forms, and it's more prone to come when you are like against your next big challenge, and maybe you're a little bit better at identifying it and be real with yourself. Okay, just to clarify, this is what you're sending after the phone call, or where they get your email? I don't know what you're talking about, dude. Oh, comments, exact proposal. Oh, this was these were like old questions. I mean, like a sub niche of questions. I'm not answering the real ones right now. I mean the recent ones. All right, let me go back. These receptionists keep telling me, well, our service call is $75, so we wouldn't have much after we paid you. Man, what the fuck? Thought it was supposed to work easy. Comments. This was on a video called Comments on Lead Gen versus PPL versus Client SEO. So you're talking about pay per lead. These are, man, what's the industry, dude? How am I supposed to answer that without the industry? If the industry, if you know the average is not true in that industry, it's just that one receptionist. And why are you even making that decision of the receptionists? You should be talking to the business owner for that. So, yeah. Yo, Shib, in PPL model, do you get paid before starting the work? No, you don't. PPL? Not necessarily, not usually, no. PPL is the one that, you own their brand, basically, right? You're doing their, not just like, you know, not they're going their websites and everything, and then you're like doing lead gen with AdWords or some shit, and then they only pay you for the calls you bring. I don't like that model. PPL, the one that I talk about, is, hey, I'm going to do everything digital, just like, you know, an SEO sale for you, but you're not going to pay until results start coming in. For that, they usually don't pay. Now, you could do a setup fee. Like, you can say, like, hey, look, you know, the website is just a straight cost. And depending on what industry they're in, you could, like, give an example. Like, for the roofing industry, I would say, like, you know, just like you guys have materials, the website is just like a straight cost for me. So, if you guys don't mind putting up $2,000 just for the website, for them to get some initial skin in the game for one-time fee, and then they'll pay their thing. You could do that, but not usually. Usually PPL is just, you start the thing, when the calls start coming in, they start paying you, okay? And if you're asking that question, do they pay you before and stuff like that, if you're worried about that stuff, do some, like I said in one of the videos, like do paid advertising first. Get them 1 or 2 calls first. See how the entire thing flows through the cycle. See how that entire thing goes through, you know, to the call, to the thing, how they close it, all that stuff, to the complaint, and do they pay you, and do they pay you on time. You don't want to wait 6 months with SEO and then find out that they're not good partners, right? Drip some in, spend some money, see how the whole thing flows, and then if it's good, then go on. How do you operationalize PPL SEO via analytics, or do you negotiate your transfer to the number to your call? Dude, I don't know what you're saying. But do I not get the model that works? I don't know what you're saying. Okay, Mark M. You don't always have to do local lead gen. You could also make your own roofing business directory. You can sell your own digital marketing services in the back end and plus paid subscriptions would be good because you know a lot about the industry. I guess you could. Moving on, how can I contact you? Through email, I guess. Alright, great video. I have sent videos to a few business owners. I'm following them up with more value and content. I'm asking them to connect. And what is the best time to do it? But wait, let me open it up. Alright, Nikhil. Great video. I have sent videos to a few business owners and I'm following them up with more value and content. Okay, great, man. Sounds good so far. I'm asking them to connect and what is the best time to do it, but they're not responding. Should I start calling them? Definitely. Call them. Call them up, definitely. When you say you're following them up with more value, are you like, that means you send them a video, then you're just like following up to that, but they're not responding? Or they responded and they said, okay, it's a good time to call, and then they're not responding. Either way, you call them. Call them and just get on the phone. Watch it again, pick up more gems. Do they all sign a service agreement? And what do you use to make one? And you can show us for an example. Service agreement, I'll pull one up for you guys one time. Just comment again, man, if you see it. Honestly, it's very simple. Like, I think originally I just Googled one. Like, a sample digital marketing service agreement. And I just cleaned it up a bit. Kept, like, the main bullet points from SEO. Like, actually, it's pretty Indian company. Like, when they email you saying, hey, we do this, it's kind of like that, except I just have like, this is between Shiba, my company and their company and a few other things. It's on a month-to-month, and then a few bullet points, what we do, sign. That's it. Yo, man, as SEO normally takes 6 months to see results, how do you set the expectation on the sales call? How do you set the expectation? You just let them know. You just like let them know. You show them like the presentation I showed you guys, like you show them what you do for them, the breakdown, how to track this, like how they're going to know it's working. So they should have some kind of call tracking, whether reports or like a live dashboard, and you can break it down to them. The reason why SEO takes, I mean, if you want to give some facts, that's also good, especially if they sound like they're a little bit more savvy. You can pick that up depending on the questions they were asking. So far on the call, on the video, whatever it is, on the screen share, on the call, then you can go a bit more into in-depth. Like an example would be, hey, look, just because we make a change on your website doesn't mean that it's out published on Google. Google has crawlers that come in and take note that you made the change, and then for them to take that note, it can take about 2-3 weeks. And for them to implement and actually pass on the effect from the change that was made, it can take a few more weeks. That's one of the reasons why SEO takes time. Whether you're a multi-billion-dollar marketing agency or you're a new agency, SEO takes time. And because of these kind of reasons of how Google works, you can show that and throw that in, and then like carry on the conversation. And when the time comes about like expectations and stuff like that, what they can expect, you can let them know like this is what you can expect. I would recommend actually having a part of the sales call being about expectations, right? Like towards the end, having a part where you're like, all right, just let you know what you can expect, what kind of results you can expect to see in the first 90 days, depending on what your KPIs are. If you have like certain things that you show them early on, I would recommend having at least something early on to kind of wow them, and then you can let them know what they can expect, and that should be something generally pretty easy to deliver on, right? Especially if you're going to say something for the first 6 to 8 weeks, right? Something that you're going to deliver for sure, and then you let them know that'll be good because that's you setting something expectation and then like delivering on it. Boom, you're gonna hitting those marks, and then let them know to really start thinking things are gonna be up and running and rolling. It's gonna take 6 months to a year, right? You can just let them know that straightforward. And honestly, like nowadays, I'm seeing like businesses that pay more, like they know this. Like they probably have gotten burnt before when they're early on in their journey or whatever. They know it's not overnight. Like business that like are like a roofing business that pays $3,000, they're not looking for, like, they're not gonna bug you that much. They understand. I mean, unless you're, it just depends how you put it. But overall, in the scheme of things, they understand. People are not that dumb anymore. They understand. Just be upfront with them and show them and treat them with like respect and actually tell them some facts of why is it that it takes time, right? Let them know a little bit and they'll understand. These are stuff that they can Google themselves as well. So don't be afraid to do that. Okay, when you take a new client that has an existing website, do you rebuild the... Okay, when you take a new client that has an existing website, do you rebuild the site, or do you work on top of what their current, what they currently have, whether it's HTML or WordPress? If it's not WordPress, I make it into WordPress. If it's a shitty site on WordPress, we let them know to get a new website, right? And that's it. I only work on WordPress. It's not, don't have the time for my team or anybody to learn all those systems, man. What do you say to client on the follow-up call? What follow-up call? I think you're talking about like after I send the video audit. What do I say? Why can't I think of it right now? I send the video audit. Okay, I see that they watched it. All right, when I call them. Okay, yeah, so really good question. I don't talk about the video right away, right? I call them and actually I just pitch them again. To be honest, I do the like same pitch again. The script that I showed you guys, like, hey, it's Shib, you know, remember we spoke of blah blah blah, and I go into like, hey, look, you know, we just did this for this other roofing contract not too far away from you. Just wanted to see if you have, and then how they, depending on how they are, I get really quick into it after. And I sent you an email very recently. I don't know if you got a chance to see it. That's how I do it. I never call with a just following up. Like, just understand this part. This word just in follow-ups, take it out. Because I know people do this, and I used to do this, and it sucks. Never go just, right? No matter how sold they are, even for clients, honestly, who's like said yes, or like, you know, said like, yes, this sounds really good. Give me till next week to reach out to me next week, and we'll get something started. Even at that point, you'd think that, oh, this guy's close. Next week comes, I don't say like, hey, John, just following up to see if you guys are ready to get started. Because all that energy is died down now. I resell. Right? Now, in that example I was just saying, I'll resell based on what sold them initially. Right? But in this point, the point I'm trying to make is never going, hey, just following up, or like calling and asking like, hey, John, yeah, so this is blah, blah, blah. I'm calling because, you know, I sent you an email. Did you see it? It's like you're like coming at them. Like, you've seen this. They know it's about sales. Have at least a decent pitch for every type of contact you do. Whether it be an email, a follow-up, a phone call follow-up. Whatever it is, everything should be at least decent. All points. And then some parts has to be strong. They're like either video has to be really strong or your close has to be strong for you to like start, you know, getting some good traction, right? The stuff I show you, they're all, like, generally speaking, they're pretty strong as far as it's what got me here. So like, if you have multiple forms of contact that are pretty strong all the way through and you get better at them, that's how you end up in a position where you can get a lot of sales, right? You can get into days where you're just doing a big follow-up just through the phone and you can almost get like a couple sales and a bunch of people interested right by calling back a lot of people, because every form of contact is likely to gain interest, right? Your emails, your phone calls, your phone call follow-up, stuff like that, right? So went on a bit on a rant there, but yeah, that's how I answer that. I just call them and I do the pitch again, and for a general idea, you want to be pretty strong in all forms of contact that you do over and over again. All right. What time is it? 34 minutes. Can somebody please let me know how good it is if it's good to keep these videos 30 minutes or an hour? Because I don't know how many questions to answer. I usually start to get a little tired of 30 minutes. But if you guys don't mind, I know an hour long is like really long for some people, and you don't want to like spend that long of your Saturday, Sunday just listening to me blabber on. But if you do, let me know. Glad to have you, mate. I remember you said you only work with WordPress sites. Does that mean you don't call people that don't have a website? I don't call people that don't have a website. No, I don't do that shit. It's just against the grain, you know. It's just like, it's just not gonna really work out. If you come across people that don't have websites, understand, like, just understand that they understand it's gonna take a long time. Like, tell them 6 months to a year, and you should know that it will take like literally 6 months to a year, right? If you're anything indecently competitive, especially nowadays, starting from a brand new website, brand new domain, like, it's just, fuck. I don't like to do that shit. You're missing the fact that the renter is paying the mortgage on something you own, even if you're not getting a lot of cash flow. Also, to buy lower price property, 50K to 150K. Okay, I remember that comment. Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm probably missing a lot of facts more than that. But yeah, you know, I was when I was looking into that, when I was thinking of real estate a couple of days ago, I was just looking into like, just as a cash flow thing, you know. I was thinking of it as like, okay, I don't want to buy something, like, you know, get into something where I'm like expecting a future gain. It just seems kind of like, I don't know, not really right for me. I was thinking of like, even if I win small, I win now and consistently. And then in the future, if there's a big pot at the end, okay, then that's a bonus. That's cool. So I was kind of keeping that out of the equation on purpose, to be honest. But yeah, I know what you mean. Dude, don't buy in your state. Check out Morris Invest. Thank me later. I will check him out. Thanks, man. The inflation rate in my country is 7%. And the savings account gives us 7%. So in reality, you aren't really making any money. Might be similar to my country, man. I'm not sure. Hey, Ship. Hope you're doing great. Sujan Ali. Hey, man. How you doing? Think I should see you a lot more in the channel. Need a little bit of advice. I've been doing a client SEO mostly. Go ahead. Let me read this properly. Need a little bit of advice. I've been doing client SEO mostly, white label work, which I get through networking, which take care of my bills, plus lead gen, rank and rent to build assets, future proofing, and now learning Facebook ads to sell, FB ads to local business in gym niche, and increase my income. I'm confused. Should I focus on SEO, which is my primary skill, or do both? Did I answer this question? I feel like I answered something very similar where I said like, if it's for like niches like gyms and stuff, Facebook ads could make more sense. I would say like, what are you good at, man? Like, you said you do white labels SEO. I still don't know a good white label provider for SEO. Like a real good one. Like one that I can really depend on. And what that means is that at least over 50-60% of the clients I bring them will get the results that we're talking to them. That's seriously what I mean. I mean, like, most people can't do that. Most people can't do that. And if you're good at SEO, I would say keep getting better at that shit and really work on your process and team to be one of the best white label providers you can be, and your results will speak for themselves. And then you can target agencies and big agencies, whatever, to fulfill the work for them. And really, it's about the results, right? Like, if you're an agency, like, if you came to me as a white label, I don't care about anything else. I don't care who the hell you work with. I don't care if you work with Coca-Cola. I care if you can get roofers results. What other roofers do you have who are getting? How many calls are they getting? Right now, like, show me their Google My Business Insights. What was it before you started? Purely. That's it. And how many can you show me? Is it 1 in 10 you got that? Or is it like, you got like 5 roofers and 3 or 4 of them are getting that? If that average is good, you can be my guy. Simple as that, right? So that's that. And you know, I'm just saying it doesn't have to be roofers, but you know, similar industry stuff like that. If you're showing me that you got like 100 calls for a deli and that's all you have to show me, not gonna work, right? You're selling to other businesses. It's really more about results, and you're selling them something they know, but they just don't have, I guess, they don't want to be worrying about all those systems. They want to really build their sales systems, right? You're just like taking off the load for them. So that's what I would do. I would focus on one of them. I would really focus on one of them. I said this in like 2-3 videos ago, man. You can make $1 million agency with one product, just one service. Facebook ads alone, $1 million. Like I say, 100K per month. So that's over $1 million a year with one product. You just have to be good. Wait. Hey Sheb, I'll choose one industry as you suggested and make it specialized knowledge. Right now I'm soaking major concepts in digital marketing to learn and also see if I have a skill bit more other than. As you said, for being best, you need to be able to go one step further. Liking a skill might help. Man, I can't read this. Your perspective and answer is gem. Thank you very much, man. Because for me, you can't be what you can see. The answer helps me visualize the process and possibilities. You are my favorite entrepreneurs. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. You answered my "it depends" question perfectly. I appreciate it a lot. Sweet, sweet. Good stuff, man. I could understand the first part of your question, though. Or your compliment. Glad to have you back, mate. I remember you said you only work with WordPress sites. Doesn't mean you don't call people. I don't know why these questions are coming again. Are you an ENFP? I don't know what that is. You told me to check out some resource. I didn't go and check that out. Let's see what else. I think that's pretty much it. I have a few questions about very old videos when I still do like weird meditations. I still do weird meditations. How do you structure the content, pay per call, lead gen SEO? Do you charge based on number of clicks, calls via? How do you structure the contract in pay per lead SEO? Do you charge based on number of clicks and call button via Google Gmail? No, man. Pay per call? Pay per lead? Like, no, it's gonna be recorded. Malik, hey Shiba, I hope you had a great trip. I started sending a minimum of 10 video audits a day. Hell yeah. That's what it's about. After calling them, asking them for their email, I'm wondering if you can give me the, what's up? No, I'm making a video. Were you ever successful? Astral projection. Not truly successful. No. Close. Keep getting close each time. Very recently I had an episode when my girlfriend had left to go to her country, and I realized you can astral project only when you're alone in the room. Not gonna go too far in that. So far it's been about SEO. Alright guys, we're almost at 45 minutes. I'm not really finding any more questions. If I don't answer your question, just please can't ask it again. I just can't find it, everything here. I don't know why. Because what happens is I see the questions and they're for each different video. So if I go to see the full question, let's say it's a long question, then I answer all the ones in that video. Then I have to come back out and go back in each. So it's probably I could miss a few here and there. So yeah guys. Is there anything else I want to add? Not really. There's just one more question that came in just now as I was making this video. Let me get that out.
What's up?
And this is on the video I just made an hour ago. Great video, man. It's from Rob. Been following your content in silence for a long time. I've been a contractor for 26 years, and for the past 3 years I've been in transition to creating income from multiple avenues online. I would like to one day have a chance to speak with you. Your journey has been fun to watch. How would one contact you? Have a great weekend. Hey, I will comment on you to ask you for your email. The way you want to contact me is you leave your email, guys. You leave your email on the comments, and when I come see it, I will contact you. And that's how you contact me. But hey Rob, I will send you a message right now. I'll try to figure out how to do the DM or whatever, and for sure we can get on a conversation. Alright guys, I'll leave it at that. Thanks for watching. Peace.